Hey, what's up everyone? This is Scrembo from Emotional Crypto Trading, and today I have a review video presentation of an ICO, but also a couple of secrets of the entire ICO industry that you must consider into judging better, because I see a lot of ICOs coming out and it's pretty difficult to handle all this, right? So I'm going to share with you a couple of secrets which will definitely help you to have a better experience in this industry. So let's get started, guys. I'm trying to make this video quick, straight to the point as usually, talking sense and hopefully value, right? So we've got indaHash from branding perspective at the beginning. Then I'll talk about what is the project about. Then we see details of the ICOs and secrets and all that stuff, right? So let's get started. indaHash is currently the biggest international platform for influencer marketing campaigns that enables brands to conduct local and global campaigns with over 300,000 influencers on over 70 markets. Now, indaHash mission is to tokenize the influencer industry and create a revolution in terms of brands, cooperation, and audience development, right? So indaHash as a company, it exists already and it has over 300,000 influencers registered, which are acting on over 70 markets. This is already happening, right? So what they're looking to do is to tokenize the entire influencer industry with this ICO that's coming out, but also with the entire project that's behind it, right? So let me explain it to you better in a couple of words. indaHash basically is acting like a bridge between influencers and brands, right? Because what the brands are doing nowadays, they're advertising a lot on the social media through influencers. Why are they doing that through influencers? Because that's considered as a familiar face, which gives them better conversion rates, right? We all see, we can see even at television, we can see a lot of advertising of big brands, of soccer players or whatever, public persons. You do see in a lot of topics, in whatever you want to talk about, you see public faces. That's very important. They're considered as influencers. Now that happens on social media nowadays, especially on Instagram, right? So what that means is, this is indaHash is acting like a bridge between the brands and the influencers. So it enables basically to conduct local or global campaigns with all those influencers registered on indaHash. So it kind of connects them together and allows them to do the business, right? Which is extremely great because it comes down to the regular guy in the society. If you have a social media account which you can open for free, you build up your audience to a specific level, apply for indaHash, you can make money. You can make money by having different advertising campaigns with specific brands. We're talking about billion-dollar brands and not small things or baby stuff. This thing is all around billion-dollar advertising campaigns, because you already know that the budgets of these insanely high brands are increasing from a year to the other more and more in the social media side, right? So they're increasing their budgets for social media more and more because that's where the attention is. You can see around, you can look around, your friends, family, everyone has a social media account and it's part of our life. So definitely that's where the future is, and it's going to be even bigger in the future. So this is something that could be definitely considered as a project that's gonna grow steadily from now every single year, because more and more people will like to be an influencer as well. More and more companies are advertising on the social media through influencers, and that's basically happening as naturally speaking, right? So the mission is to tokenize the influencer industry. So the mission is to use a token for all these transactions, right? To use the indaHash token, which can be used and it has a purpose in the market this way. I'm going to explain it to you. There are more explanations about that. Now the way it works basically, indaHash mainly, it has an app, right, which allows all the influencers to find campaigns, but also all the brands to find the influencers. And you can see those apps we're going to talk about. I'll share with you very soon. Let's talk about a couple of numbers for now. It has over 300,000 influencers with over 900 million reach, right? All of them considered. indaHash has more than 400 clients, right, which are looking to create campaigns, which are advertising through influencers, which is a lot. Now, out of those, we already have more than 1,000 campaigns on over 17 markets. And out of those, we've got 28 million interactions on branded content generated via indaHash, which is quite a lot. So it's happening, it's giving results, and this company is existing, right? Now, let's move ahead and find out a little bit more. We are reaching to a point where indaHash basically is presented in 7 countries, and right there we have the places, the cities where you can find indaHash. If you want to find indaHash basically in those cities, if you're living around those cities like New York, Berlin, Warsaw, London, Dubai, Singapore, and Johannesburg, you want to definitely contact the support team of indaHash. I'm going to drop you an email in the description area to see where their offices are located. Maybe you're interested in finding out more and seeing the company it's activating, because it's real. So this is something that it's not happening nowadays in the ICO industry as a popular thing, to have real companies. This is something that's missing. And here's a secret I'm going to share with you guys. Now, you see a bunch of ICOs coming out, and we have days when we have 10, 15 ICOs going live, which is insane in my opinion. The problem is 95% of the ICOs are garbage, unfortunately, and this is a big problem because it turns people away from the ICO industry. Now, the reason why it turns them away is they used to lose quite a lot of money by buying into ICOs. Then after, the value of the coin decreases dramatically because it's a scam. Unfortunately, it happens with a lot of ICOs, and I'll explain you once again why. There's no real company behind the ICOs nowadays. This is a big problem that's happening. There's no real CEO. It's all fake. Those are profiles from websites where you can, the websites which are having databases of developers, CEOs, and stuff like that. Those are fake profiles which are pasted over there. I've seen lots of examples nowadays, and it's happening. So you have to be very, very careful, because those websites they are presenting as their own websites of the ICO are having persons which are not existent behind that project. They're real persons, but they have nothing to do with those projects a lot of the times, and it's happening. I've verified for a few projects. I've verified that personally. I went to the real person and I've asked on LinkedIn, on the profile, I wrote them a message and I've asked, hey, do you participate in this ICO? Are you part of the team? And they said no, they just used my profile, which is definitely something bad that happens a lot today. It happens. So that's something to consider for you guys when you start looking after. The first thing, the company must exist. It must have offices. It must have real persons behind them, which is happening in indaHash. That's why I'm going to do a review about this project, because it's exciting, right? So if you're living around those places, you can write down support, ask them where's your office located. Maybe you could see the office and gain more credibility. Maybe you could see what is the business all around and all that stuff. So it's definitely happening, right? On the other side, around these ICOs which are scamming, I wanted to share with you that there are certain services which are performing as writing you down your white paper. You pay them an amount of money and they are writing you down your white paper. So that's how ridiculously this business became, and it's gonna be, right? It's different services, different people writing white papers continuously out of nowhere. You just go with the idea and they're, elaborating and making a white paper for you. And then you put it on a nice design website and you're ready to go with an ICO, which is not existent. These are the things you definitely have to consider and you have to be aware of. So the first thing, company must be existent. People behind them must be real. If you have the ability, you should visit those offices. On the other side, let's talk about what is this token doing. what the token is going basically to do in the indaHash company, which is already existing. It's performing with brands and influencers, and it's having an activity in their business, right? So what happens here, we have a couple of images talking about what is the use of the token in the indaHash business. Now we've got a brand here, which usually the brand pays indaHash with cash or transfer indaHash coins for campaigns, right? Because they want to run some advertising campaign. What they do is they buy indaHash and pay directly with indaHash, or they send dollars or whatever, fiat money, right, to indaHash. Now indaHash rewards influencers with indaHash coins for campaigns. Obviously, influencers are going to do their job, then getting paid by indaHash with indaHash coins, where you can see the use of this coin already. Then from the influencer, basically influencers use indaHash coins to create their own tokens and reward their audiences by clicking on the links, by buying products, by doing that, right? Because through indaHash, you will be able to create your own token as an influencer to reward your own audience, right? So it has, on top of the use of the main indaHash token, on top of that, you will be able to create your own cryptocurrency that you can use with your audience to give them bonuses, rewards, and stuff like that. Now, from the audience, fans exchange tokens for personalized exclusive interactions with influencers, such as gadgets, meetings, and social media activities, right? Now, from the influencer side, influencers can exchange indaHash coins on exchange or convert to fiat money. It's happening because some people want to cash out. Some people live from there. And I'm sure a lot of people live by doing this. By being part of indaHash, they participate in marketing campaigns. They will be paid through indaHash. They'll have to cash out to pay their bills, to do this, to do that. So it's going to be active. It's going to have a lot of activity on the exchanges as well. And it's not like one of those coins that has no use in the market. I can clearly see that why people would choose to be paid in indaHash, because it gives bonuses, there are incentives, and there are a couple of great signs offered by indaHash company to kind of, I shouldn't say force you, but help you or influence you to use their token, right? So that's something to consider. Now, influencer receives early access products and services from brands with indaHash coins. If they want to use the coins they have been able to generate by completing the campaigns, they got paid, right? So they can use also those coins back to the brands into getting early access and different projects and stuff like that. So there's a lot of use. You can see 6 points here, 6 kind of ideas where the coin will be used. Now, our vision is to tokenize the influencer industry. Here's another image which I wanted to talk about. Brands, from their perspective, that want to start or develop their cooperations with influencers, right? They're going to use a token. Influencers who want to work with brands and further develop their audiences, exactly what we spoke about, they will be paid in indaHash token by the brands, but also influencers will be able to share their own coin created through indaHash with their audiences, right? And the audiences that want to be in closer relations with brands and influencers, they follow. So it's happening all around indaHash coin and keeps it active. That's also very important. You see how many cryptocurrencies are having activity just a few times a month or maybe a few times a year. Other than that, the coin is having no activity within the market. There's no demand, there's nothing, there's no popularity, which is missing. Now, if you are able to create a project that comes down to the average Joe, to the average person in the society, right? To the average person that wants to make money, which is something that everyone wants to do nowadays. A lot of people are running after money, and that's something we're actually doing even right now when we're trying to find out great projects, right? So what happens is, if you have a project that comes down to the average person in society, helps the person to advertise services through its social media account as influencer, then you have a use in the market. You definitely have a purpose in the ecosystem. But then if you create a token to use that token as a transaction, right, and for many other purposes, then you're even better, because that token is having a lot of benefits. I'm going to share with you in a couple of seconds even more, right? So what happens is we have here the token utility, the value exchange role, basically influencer crypto economics creation, obtaining indaHash coins to run campaigns, exchanging indaHash coins for products and services from brands, using indaHash coins on audience development. The function, same-day transfers for indaHash influencers, superior privacy for influencers. Influencers will no longer need to release private data for payments. No minimum maximum transfer limits, sign-up bonuses, higher rates for campaigns in indaHash coins, right? Because you know, right now indaHash basically connects the brands with the influencers through banking accounts, right? The money is going to be transferred through banks. That's what's happening now. Those are having high fees for international transfers. It takes 3 to 5 business days. It's pretty slow. Sometimes the influencers are getting paid between 30 to 60 days after completing their campaign, right? But this could be erased by having an indaHash cryptocurrency, which makes everything way smoother. Now, indaHash is also giving bonuses for people using this, right? They will be able to share bonuses in percentages and all these incentives to make people use indaHash token within the business, such as make brands using it, make the influencers want to receive the payout in indaHash, which is definitely something very useful in my opinion for the entire industry, because we're heading towards to a financial change, major swift, right, in the entire global industry. We see Bitcoin rising from a day to the other more and more, and we already have a lot of countries where Bitcoin is implemented, regulated, and it's being used on daily basis, on day-by-day life, like, you know, having a lunch or paying something, buying a car, buying some tickets, movie ticket, whatever, you know, it's used. So cryptocurrency is going to be used more and more into our day-by-day life. That's something to consider, right? So it has purposes like transfer unit, transaction unit, exchange unit. A lot of these purposes can be used, and behind those ideas the company is going to include more and more features, right? So here's another image basically that explains quite a lot about about indaHash, brand, influencers, and audience. So it covers all the corners, and basically it shows why indaHash is good for all these corners, right? So we're talking about indaHash, immediate, practically costless transfer worldwide, automated transfers to influencers without the need to integrate with 30 banks worldwide, no minimum or maximum transfer limits, protection of the influencer's privacy, additional incentives such as sign-up bonuses for influencers, encouraging cooperation with indaHash. Exactly what I said. They need to encourage the cooperation with indaHash in order to have a use for this token, because all these influencers will have to exchange their tokens into fiat if that's what they want to do, if they want to spend that money, right? Which is something they would have to do extra, but that's gonna worth it because there will be bonuses encouraging people to do that. Now, from the brand perspective, we've got developing adequate standards of cooperation with influencers, ability to provide an automated discount for the influencer for products, the ability to effectively reach the trendsetter first when launching a new product, international transfer in one universal cryptocurrency, automated the process of exchanging campaigns for products and services, right? So it helps the brands a lot. You see, all these things are just making their life better. Influencers, the ability to build direct relationships with fans and use loyalty programs to reward them, ability to acquire early access to many prestigious products, exclusive events, and discounts in e-commerce. in the future the ability to quickly prepare their own tokens, higher bids for brand campaigns, higher rates for more holders, sign up bonuses for new influencers in the indaHash ecosystem. So you see how they are encouraged to use the token. It's definitely clear for me that it's going to be attracted, and it's attractive. It's definitely sound attractive. Audience, being part of the influencer ecosystem through technology, ability to build deeper relations with the influencers and interact with them directly, receive valuable goods from the influencers in an automated manner based on the activity performed with the influencers, right? So this is an image basically that presents the use of the token. Now here we're talking about the ICO, guys, and details of it. So it's going to start on 29th of November 2017 and it's going to end on 20th of December 2017, right? This is the main ICO we're talking about. And here you have the exchange rates. In the first week you've got 20% bonus, second week 10% bonus, third week comes in with no bonus. Now one Ethereum is considered as 3,200 indaHash at the end of the ICO, right? So you have to see what's the value of one Ethereum, divide that by divide the value of Ethereum by 3,200 at that specific time to find out the value of an ICO, which is going to probably sit around 10 to 12 cents, assuming the current price of Ethereum. So we're going to see about that later on. Now, for now, the minimum amount is going to be 0.5 Ethereum to participate in the ICO. Main ICO distribution period from 3 p.m. UTC time, November 29th, to 3 p.m. UTC, December 20, right? That's where the ICO starts and closes. Token distribution, smart contract will distribute tokens instantly after successful transfer of Ethereum. Now we've got a minimum goal and a hard cap, including the pre-ICO, because there was a pre-ICO already and it was quite successful. Now for the minimum goal we've got 40 million indaHash, and for the hard cap 320 million indaHash. If the minimum goal is not met, Ethereum can be reclaimed via the smart contract. You don't have to be worried about that. You can get your money back if the minimum goal was not achieved of 40 million indaHash deposited, right? So 20% bonus in the first week, which sounds pretty good because the value of indaHash already starts from 3,200 per one Ethereum at the end of the third week of the main ICO. That's already, that's already an increase in value for you guys, and you can already see a profit there of 20% during this period because you get those tokens as bonus, right? So what happens is you've got a dates, November 29 till December 6th, week number 1, you get this bonus, the second week and the third week basically, right? So as you already know, this is not a financial advice. You should do your research before investing in any ICO, in any projects, and it's definitely something that every single person out there have to do by running its own filters. Now, getting back to the idea of the problems around the ICOs, which is very popular due to the fact that it's very easy to make big money by purchasing someone to create a white paper, by purchasing a service of website design, creating everything fake. You make money. You can make hundreds of thousands of dollars by just investing probably a couple of thousands. Then you scam people out because you don't have any sort of implementation, no project, no nothing, a poor smart contract, which is definitely a copy paste from a different place. So this is the main problem which is happening today. I've told you about that white paper service that people used to buy. There's a couple of guys doing that. I'm not trying to give out ideas what you should do to make money, because this is something that affects the ecosystem, because it pushes people away from the ICO industry. They keep losing money, right? Which is the main problem. So that's why I'm telling you guys, you have to run filters. The first thing is the company must have an existing product when heading towards to the existing product of the company, right? So this is the ICO page, the ICO website, which is something you can see right now on the screen. But in the meantime, I wanted to show you that this is the company's website, right? So we've got indaHash.com/influencer. This is where all the influencers are registering. They have the ability to look around the app because everything is running through the apps, which is again another great positive thing, right? So currently there are 377,000 influencers registered on indaHash. It's an active product in the market. You can see it right here how it works. You can also make money with it. You can study, you can look around it. This is basically another option. That's what I'm talking about. There's a big difference between 95% of the ICOs launching out today having no product, just a white paper and a couple of things on their website, nothing valuable to see, nothing to touch, nothing to visualize realistically, not just digitally. We're talking about realistically. So there must be something to touch, right? indaHash is on the other side. It's already an existing project, company, and product active on the market. They're just looking to add this token inside their ecosystem, right? And make it a lot better, which obviously has a use. That's why I'm making a review video presentation. You don't know, I mean, you know, I don't like to talk empty words. So here we go. You can read about the main company here on this link. You can study it. I'm just gonna run and refresh to see if more people registered to this company while I was making this video. I see 20 more people registered as influencer for indaHash since I'm making this video presentation for you guys. So it has a Instagram page. Basically it's realistic, close to 51,000 followers, engagement, interaction. A lot of influencers are already active on indaHash looking to make money, so they will be even more happy by getting bonuses, incentives by using this indaHash token within their business, which is great, right? So you've got indaHash.com, another website basically that talks about the entire project along with the ICO and everything, right? On the other side, we've got the ICO page where I'm going to scroll down and share with you a couple of facts. Barbara is the CEO. You can see it right here. There's a video presentation. This video presentation is very, very useful because it explains you briefly what you can understand from indaHash and how it works more in details than I could explain here in this review video. Then we've got key dates and a roadmap in the white paper, which you can download from here. Now you can see 1,078 conducted campaigns for the biggest global brands. You can see the brands over here. I'm gonna scroll down. We're gonna meet our team, existing people you can meet up, existing people you can talk with. It's not a joke because I've verified that, and that's why I decided to drop out a video presentation that should be useful for you guys. So you've got a lot of details of their social media, and this is the email, media inquiries email. If you have questions or anything around, if you might want to see their offices, that's right there, their email, where you could contact them to see see that by yourself, right? So it's very important to run your own research before judging something, because this is going to be the advertisers will soon be able to pay social media influencers in new cryptocurrency. They have a lot of popularity around the topic and industry because they have an existing product already on the market which is successful, right? Which is something that 95% of the ICOs are missing. This is a huge advantage that indaHash has in collecting people around the ICO, and it's not like for the marketing purposes, because this is already working, this is already active, right? It's not just like as a surface from what it seems to be. It's realistic. 7 offices all around the world. You definitely want to look after this. So yeah, you're gonna find the links in the description area for the white paper. You're going to find the official link, no affiliate link involved, official link in the description area of this video presentation on YouTube. You have the links over here. You want to study, you want to look around, because this is pretty much exciting and interesting for me. That's pretty much all about for now today's video presentation. If you enjoyed, feel free to share it, like it, dislike it, comment, ask me questions. If I know about this project, something, I'm going to respond you. If not, feel free to head over the support team and they will sort it out. So that's kind of all about today's video presentation. On the other side, I want to keep you updated because I'm going to share with you some more market analysis video presentations in the near future. This week, there will be a lot of videos coming out from my YouTube channel. And I'm going to share with you some more videos around exciting cryptos for December. Right? Small cap, medium cap, and high cap exciting cryptos that you should consider for December. Right? So there's a lot to know, there's a lot to understand, and thank you for watching me, right? That's the most important thing, to thank people, be thankful for whatever you have, and hopefully this video helped you by understanding what is all around this business. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Talk to you soon. Have a nice day out there and take care.